This is the Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year and three-time loser, the Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on the Jason Walker Show.
He's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weights. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course and at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
the Jason Walker Show.
Hey, what up? Happy Wednesday, the Jason Walker Show. We are presented by Capital Collision Center. Montana State Law says it's your vehicle. It is your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center. Coming up today, a show that you can watch on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Listen on Podbean, Network One Sports, TreasureStateRadio.com, and more. We're going to talk with Capital tennis coach Ryan Swenson as the Bruins gear up for the season. Who's back? Who's going to be fantastic? He'll fill us in. And who's the best diaper changer on the team? We'll find out. Also, That's What She Said with Alex Eschelman coming up. We'll get an update on Bobcat sports from the Gallatin Valley. Football started practice in the last few days. And also outdoor track, picking up where it left off on the indoor season. So we'll get an update, and high school down there as well. Our Twitter handle, @JWalkerSports. Our email, jason@jasonwalkershow.com. And our phone number is 406-209-1267. The opening segment brought to you, as always, by Montana Custom Log Homes, the premier log home company in the industry with three distinct divisions: milled, handcrafted, and timber frame. Family-owned and operated business, veteran-owned and women-owned as well. Check out yourcustomlog.com to get started today. Where do we get started today? How about the Helena Bighorns? They are getting set tonight at 6 Mountain Time to take on the Granite City Lumberjacks in the second game today of the Fraser Cup out near St. Louis. The Bighorns, what are they, 46-6 on the year? And winners of the Frontier Division, thanks to a 2-1 series win over Gillette last week, a thrilling Saturday night game. Gillette also in the Frontier, or in the Fraser Cup as well. The Bighorns pod includes the Granite City Lumberjacks, who they play tonight, the El Paso Rhinos as well. And that's who, let's see, they will play on Friday, the El Paso Rhinos. And then the winners, the two teams with the best record out of each, will go on to Pool A and Pool B, and then take on each other's Saturday semifinals, and then Sunday's the championship. Pool A consists of the Northeast Generals, the Rochester Grizzlies, and the Gillette Wild. But the Bighorns, unbelievable season so far. 289 goals scored. And like we mentioned, I think 46-6 on the year. And only 3 of those losses came in regulation. And 1 was in the playoffs, the Gillette. And Granite City tonight, 67 goals allowed in the regular season. That's not much. Let's see here. Allowed 7 goals in 5 games during the playoffs. And it's going to be a challenge for the Bighorns, but they should be up to it. Check out for Liam Bland and Samuel Feemster. Bland has 7 goals over the last 2 games against Gillette, including the game winner in OT. The Granite City goalie has a goals against average of 1.20, as well as a save percentage of 97.5%. Helena's goalie, Eric Buchholz, 94.5%. It's going to be fun. Good luck to the boys, and they should do well, for sure. At least we hope they do. What else did we see here in the early? Went golf today. Oh, welcome, by the way, inside the Above All Handyman Man Cave. This studio built by Above All Services, and they are our new Man Cave sponsor. So we appreciate Todd, Ryan, and the gang for jumping on board. And I got to tell you, the service that they provided us last year, it was about a year ago almost, when we completely remodeled the studio. We used to sit like right here facing that way, south, but tore out the carpet, tore out the walls, basically added some insulation, added some soundproofing, and repainted hardwood floors, and did a fantastic job. And then they did our bathroom and put in double sinks instead of one, and their service impeccable, and great guys to work with. So check out Above All Services, Handyman Services. And they literally do it all. So our new Man Cave sponsor, and literally built by them. So pretty cool. Let's see. We'll talk to Alex Eschelman about that. We've got high school sports getting ready to gear up. Baseball is just around the corner for Legion. And, of course, high school baseball will kick into gear next year. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward with the baseballs and everything like that. Billings Blizzards have a new coach, the new hockey team down there, Eddie LaPera. The Blizzards joining the... he actually played in Billings with the Billings Bulls. And looking forward to getting hockey back and in Billings. You know, I remember living Gallatin Gateway just south of Bozeman when the Bozeman Ice Dogs, and this was just before Helena's run back in the 90s. But the Billings Bulls and the Bozeman Ice Dogs had such a huge rivalry. I mean, there were fights all the time. And that was great hockey as well. So it's going to be fun to have Billings back. Great hockey town. Montana, you know, surprisingly, is a really good hockey state. LaPera actually played for the Helena Bighorns in the 08-09 season. He finished his career here in town. But it's fun. Hockey's great. If you ever get a chance next year, just go to the games. There's good high school ball. There is, or high school puck, I guess. And speaking of baseball, we're not too long from getting the Pioneer League started. In just about a month from now or so, as the Pioneer League back and ready to go. Going to be a lot of fun. And miss having a team in Helena, no question about that. Taking the family to the games, it was fun, and it really it is not fun not having pro ball here basically. But maybe down the road. Maybe down the road. This track season gets started this week, yeah, on the western Montana side. The Blue Devil Invitational in Corvallis kicks off this weekend. There's also track in Eureka. There is tennis. You got AA starting next week with softball and track. In fact, starting next week, we'll talk softball as well. But if you get a chance, if you're over in that western Montana area down the Bitterroot, check out Corvallis on Saturday for some really, really good track. And Corvallis' track has always been good. So it'll be fun. It's going to be a fun spring season, and I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. Got to call the state BC softball last year with NFHS, and oh man, what a great, was it Florence Carlton winning it all? But man, it was absolutely a blast. Softball's underrated in this state, I think. I mean, we've seen the growth with the college programs here in the state, especially over in Missoula with the University of Montana. But the softball in this state, just like hockey, I think is underrated as far as how good it is. Let's see. MSUB's Taryn Shelley named an honorable mention All-America by the Women's Basketball Coach Association today. She's the 12th player in Jackets history and the first since Alicia Breen 5 years ago. And she's good. Got to see her play back in December down in Billings. And MSUB, Kevin Wooden's got a great program down there. And she's going to be back next year as well. So congratulations to her. If you want to weigh in on 321. If you want to weigh in on anything on this show anytime you can, 406-209-1267. You can also get a hold of us through the Twitter at JWalkerSports and our website, jason@jasonwalkershow.com. Opening segment brought to you by Montana Custom Log Homes, the premier log home company in the industry. Now, let me tell you something. They've got 15 different offerings for just their milled log homes for floor plans. And if you go onto the website and start checking a floor, you can get anywhere from 700 square feet to as big as you want. And they will work with you with your budget to craft a home that's going to last for generations. They have 50-plus years experience. The finest craftsmen available in the state. And they make unbelievable log homes and everything. So check them out, yourcustomlog.com, to get started today. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, Alex Eschelman will join us. That's What She Said Wednesday, brought to you by Dinners Done Right. She'll wax poetic on Gallatin Valley athletics as high school starts to roll on down there. And let's see. We'll probably talk to her a little bit about the Bobcats. Tough end of the season last week with the men and the women, and look ahead to outdoor track. Football practice got going, like I said, and we'll get an update from Alex when we come back. This is the Jason Walker Show. We are presented by Capital Collision Center. Montana State Law says it's your vehicle. It is your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center. Alex Eschelman, when we return.
New vehicles keep coming, and Capital Collision Center keeps earning certifications to repair them. They're Helena's newest GM-certified facility. No matter the make or year, they repair your car to manufacturer's standards and requirements, maintaining its safety and value. Montana State Law says it's your vehicle, and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center, certified in GM, Subaru, and Nissan, and Helena's only shop certified in Honda, Acura, and Ford. When you value safety, go to Capital Collision Center on Euclid.
Strength, beauty, grit, superior craftsmanship. Our homes have it all. At Montana Custom Log Homes, if you can dream it, we can build it. With 3 divisions and over 50 years experience, we've got you covered. From a showcase home to a small cabin, we make your vision a reality. Because every cowboy wants a castle for his queen. Montana Custom Log Homes, crafting homes that last for generations.
Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. Father's Day is coming fast, and what more would that great dad in your life want than a full detail from Auto Concepts? Or maybe he would just prefer a lift kit. It's also camping season, and now is the perfect time to outfit that rig with a winch just in case. Auto Concepts is your home for everything for your vehicle, including updating your car stereo system too. Auto Concepts also has gift certificates for dad or yourself. Visit AutoConceptsHelena.com. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rutgers Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rutgers, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $289. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rutgers Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back, Jason Walker Show, presented by Capital Collision Center. Montana State Law says it's your vehicle. It is your choice where you have it repaired. We're going to talk tennis with Capital coach Ryan Swenson coming up. How important are workouts as far as lifting? How much weightlifting do tennis players do? We'll find out from him. Alex Eschelman set to join us coming up. Waiting for her to connect. And much more. Had fun yesterday. I'm not sure if you caught the show, but Rachel Van Blericum from Jefferson High. She's going to play up in the Highline Invitational this weekend, starting tomorrow up in Havre. And she is a standout and super funny. You get a chance to go to jasonwalkershow.com and check that out from yesterday. She was pretty cool. Let's see. There's a lot of national stuff going on. We don't really talk national sports here unless it affects somebody in Montana or something in Montana. But Tyreek Hill traded to... where was he traded to? Miami today. 5 draft picks. So, there you go. All right. Apparently not joining us via the Zoom today.
Or not even. I'm almost to my station.
Oh, hey, Alex. How are you? You're live on the Jason Walker Show.
Oh, my goodness gracious. I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm just coming back from the classy boys state title fire truck celebration in Manhattan. So I'm almost back to my station here.
Manhattan Christian. We gotta make sure we throw that, not Manhattan. They're rivals.
Sorry, Jason. I'm so sorry. I didn't hear you there.
Oh, we got to make sure we say Manhattan Christian because Manhattan would not. Manhattan people would be upset. Manhattan Christian people too.
That's right. Yes, but it's technically in Churchill, but
that is true. Yes, Churchill, Montana, fabulous little town just west of Bozeman. So, how are you? You recovered from San Diego?
Yes. What a wonderful experience that was. And it was a lot, I will say. It was a lot, but it was so fun. And it was, thankfully really special for me as well, just because my alma mater, Arizona, was playing there. So I got to see a lot of former coworkers and teammates, and it was a special experience. But more importantly for Montana State, it was just awesome. I mean, to see them playing in the big dance like that, and obviously Texas Tech was the more dominant team for sure. but Montana State, just watching the student athletes and Coach Danny Sprinkle kind of take it all in, pretty surreal moment.
Well, and it's a good learning experience. I mean, everybody always says, well, we're just, we're not just happy to be there. We want to go make some noise. I think they knew deep down that Texas Tech was the better team, and it's hard to compete when a team hits 14 of their first 17 shots or whatever it was.
Definitely. And even up close, Jason, like those guys were huge, massive. And actually, Mrs. Sprinkle said something to me after the game. We were kind of talking about it, and she said the smallest player on that team is 6'3", 200 pounds.
Oh, man.
I mean, that's just – it was across the board, Texas Tech. I'm going to be surprised if they aren't in the Final Four.
They're that good up close?
Yes.
Okay.
I really think so. And Danny said that in his post game. He said, I forget exactly what he said. I don't want to quote him, but he basically said, if they play the way they did today, they're going to be able to go so far.
You mentioned your alma mater. It was pretty cool. Your social media, you had some throwbacks to when you cheered in the big dance. And
I did.
And getting to go back full circle.
I did. It was such a special, there's so many there. I just feel so blessed because there's been multiple experiences like that between, being able to interview Kevin Cassis, who I got to cheer for in high school back in football season. And between that experience and it's just, there's a lot of like full circle moments and that was definitely one of them for sure. So I cheered 2017 when they did make it to the Sweet 16. They played St. Mary's in the second round, I want to say, and then they advanced to the Sweet 16 where they were then defeated. But that was in Salt Lake. It wasn't in San Diego, and I will say I'm very happy that our destination was San Diego this time around. I do like Salt Lake, but San Diego, I mean, it was sunny and 80 degrees. You just can't beat it, Jason. Kind of like how it is today in Montana. It's just a perfect day.
It is absolutely. I golfed this morning. It was absolutely stunning out. And Alex Eschelman joining us, ABC Fox Montana sports reporter, also does a lot of work with SWX. Take me through the experience leading up to the game. We know how the game turned out, but you were down there with the team all week. Were there wide eyes? Was it, I know it was a business trip, but did they have fun too?
I think the word fun is the key word. I think that from start to finish, even that loss, I think first of all, I don't ever think that the team would go in saying we're going to lose. That is not the case. However, I think that they knew the reality of the situation as well. I mean, Texas Tech is just a bigger beast. And I do think that, they were going in prepared and competitive and absolutely thinking they could win.
We are talking with Alex Eschelman. What did they do down there leading up to the game? I mean, we lost her. We'll get her back here. Alex Eschelman, our guest, Jason Walker Show. But, I'm sure it was a fun week, and we'll get more from her in a second. As soon as we get back in touch as we lose connection there. But she mentioned the fire truck ride. There we go. All right, there you are.
They're on the screen in just a couple of seconds. But anyway, the experience, Jason, was absolutely, I mean, the key word was fun.
Right.
From the time they got on the plane, I don't know if you were able to see my piece that I did with Carter Ash interviewing the players and kind of giving us the inside scoop on everyone. And kind of, he said, Gray Osabor is apparently the worst roommate because he snores too loud. Xavier Bishop is an overrated video gamer, claimed by Jabril Bello. Just the entire thing, from them having fun getting on the plane to getting off the plane, seeing Viejas Arena for the first time. I mean, they were doing half-court shot contests. Danny Sprinkle got in on the action. Leon Costello got in on the action. Even their SID, Andrew Pedersen, got in on the action. And it from start to finish, despite the loss, Xavier Bishop said it best after that game. He said, this year, it made basketball fun again for me.
That's awesome.
And it made me want to tear up. It made me want to cry. And Danny Sprinkle followed it up with there's, for these seniors to come back. He said there's not enough of anything. Money, thanks to repay them for what they've given me. And and he said this group has made Bozeman, has brought life back to Montana State men's basketball.
Yeah, I mean, you could see it in the crowds and everything. Go back to your piece with Carter Ash. When I worked at the TV station in Colorado, we used to do that and let the student athletes take over on trips like that with NCAA Division II volleyball regionals, and just let them have fun because they're getting interviewed all the time, but when their teammates do it, it's a whole new different ball game.
Can you see me?
We can. Hey, there you are.
So sorry. I'm so sorry for that. It's been kind of
running around, but I'm on.
There we go. I'm going to hang up the phone now. There you go. Alex Eschelman, ABC Fox Montana, SWX sports reporter extraordinaire. But when I was saying, when you have those kids do those interviews, it gets crazy at times. It's because they know each other a lot better than we know them as much as we know them.
Right. Absolutely. And it was perfect when Carter took over the mic because he brought out a lot of things that I didn't even know. Raekwon apparently is loves to rap. And once again, great apparently is the worst roommate, according to Abdul Muhammad. And just really fun little tidbits of information. But what defined that whole experience and the whole year is, like I said, when Xavier Bishop said in his post-game interview, he said it made basketball fun again. And he said it with a smile on his face. And he seemed so happy, and all of them seemed so happy. Coach Sprinkle, he's tough and competitive, but one thing I appreciate about him is he's not afraid to be emotional or show, that he's sad and that these guys are leaving and that the year's over, and show his emotions and cry, and you could tell that he was holding back tears up at the podium, talking about the team. But I do think one of the big moments too, Jason, is when watching the student athletes walk up and sit at the podium with the March Madness banner in the background. And I asked Jabril Bello, I just said, what does this feel like right now? Walking up the stairs, sitting down for a national interview, pregame interview. And he just said, a kid from London would have never dreamt this. So it was surreal. Like we described the football season, basketball season was also surreal.
Yeah, it definitely was. And then Leon Costello, Waded Cruzado, the president, caught a flight up to Palo Alto, saw the women, and same type of deal. I mean, you're playing the number one team on their home floor, or the number one seed, and the defending champs. I mean, they were in for it. But another great finish, great season for Tricia Binford.
Great season. And I think that in their own way, this year was surreal as well. And I want to almost, I don't know if surreal is the right word as much as, and I say this in a nice way, but like payback, revenge. Like this was their year to finally get what they should have gotten in 2019. And who knows how the cards would have, fell and how everything would have unfolded in 2019. I mean, we say that Montana State was there to win the whole thing, and I have no doubt that they could have in that year. But that's kind of the storyline of this team, is that this group has been working not only for those 2019 seniors, but Darian White, Gabby Mackey said it best too in her pregame interview before they went to Palo Alto, saying this, the Big Sky Conference Championship was also for Tori Martell too. And particularly called her out. And so I think that the success that this particular group has had is so, this group, it's so selfless. They didn't just make it about them. It was so much about that 2019-2020 group and the 2021 group.
Alex Eschelman joining us. That's what she said Wednesday, brought to you by Dinner's Done Right. It's just nuts. It's crazy. Football practice. I mean, basketball season ends and then football spring practice starts. You were out at practice, was it yesterday or Monday? And
Yes.
Got to talk to Brent Vegan for the first time since Frisco, and take me through the first couple of days of practices for the football team.
Yeah, I think so. Yesterday was the first day. Tomorrow is the second day. It's going to be a total of 15 practices for the next 5 weeks, and then will be capped off with the Sunny Holland Classic on April 23rd, which SWX Montana will be broadcasting.
Nice.
So tune in. If you don't come to the game, first and foremost, come to the game. But if you can't get there, watch it on SWX, of course. But, it's interesting. Taylor Housewright is so great in interviews because he's so authentic.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes in, he's got his beanie on, he has his pencil in his right ear, and he's sitting there just ready to just give the most authentic answers. And at one point he just said, 18 weeks, he said, I am so happy that we made it all the way, but 18 weeks, that's a long season. And, it's like they never left. I mean, we were doing interviews, and it felt like we had been on a 2-week spring break or something.
Right.
It was just funny. But, I think some of the big storylines that we're going to watch out for is, first of all, Tommy Mellott and Sean Chambers, the quarterback competition going into this year, which I think is great. I think you need the depth at all the position groups, but especially at that position too, leading the pack offensively. So that's going to be interesting to see. We got to watch them up close a little bit. Size-wise, Sean Chambers seems like a big guy. Obviously he's very experienced, and he seemed experienced. I've only seen him once for 30 minutes, but watching them run through, go through some of their practice, go through some of their drills. He seems like he's going to be able to step up. Tommy is basically fully healthy again, which is good to hear. Speaking of health, though, a lot of our starters will not be participating in spring. That's Isaiah Fonse, Ty Okada, Callahan, O'Reilly, Coista, Steele, and Kyle Rigg due to previous injuries from the 2021 season, which, I mean, that's not the point of spring, is to get them in pads and competing, right, Jason? Yep. I mean, I think that this is almost like Coach Vegan said, this is a time for those guys that didn't get as many reps as the Isaiah Fonse's to step up and prove their place and see who is really going to be able to contribute come fall camp. But it's interesting. They're going in as the top dog. Aside from they didn't win the Big Sky, regular season championship, of course, but they made it to the national championship. You can argue which, what's give or take. Right. I mean, you could argue it a bunch of ways, but I do think that this team is looking good. I think that the biggest thing, they're just trying to keep that same focus and keep that same mentality that they had this past season.
Go back to Tommy, and he looks healthy. He's back to full health, that you said. Yep. But is there going to be a quarterback controversy? Is it Mellott's job, or it's one day of practice in the spring? But Sean Chambers didn't transfer up here to be a backup, I'm sure. But Montana State fans are going to be pretty nuts if Tommy is not the guy, considering he got them to the national title game.
Yeah, Jason, that's a really good. I've thought the same thing. I don't necessarily know. I think it's too soon to tell. I don't think that Coach Vegan or Coach Housewright has really revealed that information yet. I think that, you could say that they're probably figuring that out as well. Mm-hmm. I think that you're 100% right in saying that. I mean, there were Tommy football t-shirts made for this guy at the end of the season. That's how much people love him. And even there were quarterback club members walking in, and they are so loyal. They come to every practice. They love being there. And one of them said, so how's Tommy doing? The loyalty, and rightfully so. Sure. I mean, Butte, Montana raised, couldn't be a better leader person all around to have that starting job. But I also do think that people are excited about Sean Chambers for sure. I think that it's something that should be looked at as a positive, because there's nothing wrong with having two really good quarterbacks in your position group, you know? Yeah. So I think it's too soon to tell. I think that we'll know more as the weeks go on.
Talking with Alex Eschelman here on the Jason Walker Show, Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. Speaking of Bobcats, the track teams picking up right where they left off, especially two of them, Lucy Corbett, Duncan Hamilton. Wow. That's all I got. I mean, they competed in their first outdoor meet, and they both set unbelievable nationwide standards. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's crazy. And Lucy also not a great at her event, but also a great long jumper too. Great or high jumper. Yeah. Or long jumper, yeah. High and long, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I think, we say it all the time, I'm going to give a big shout out to Bethany Cordell, because she tweeted it. And from that point on, everybody caught on to it. Year of the Bobcat. That is what she tweeted. Year of the Bobcat, period. And every media outlet, local media outlet, caught on to that. Yep. And I think that is a saying that just is so simply true. It really is. It wasn't just football's year. It's basketball's year. It's track and field. Mate Panic, men's tennis, just won Big Sky Player of the Week this past week and having a great performance against Idaho State. I think just all across the board, it's just a really good time to be in Bozeman.
And spring rodeo is coming up in a couple weeks, which is nuts with the defending national champ women.
Yep.
You were at Manhattan Christian, the fire truck ride. What was that like?
So special, so adorable. I mean, they've been doing that. I was talking to athletic director and women's basketball coach, Jeff Bellich, who obviously the Bellich family is a big Montana family, wonderful Montana family. And he said, we've been doing this every year for the kids, anytime they, have big wins. And the whole elementary school, high school, everyone was lining up. It was adorable. The kiddos had signs with the players' names on it and were screaming, and it was cute. It was really cute.
So aside from Montana State, you also cover high school, as we mentioned, but softball starts next week, and tennis, and track and field, and Legion baseball, and Belgrade softball looking for a fifth straight softball title. Have you gone and talked to them yet, or what's on the docket with that? Not that you haven't been busy.
I have not been able to talk to them yet, but I will say I'm so excited to watch Belgrade girls softball. I just think that that's the standard. And even the fan base for their softball team, they show up to every game. I mean, they when I think of Belgrade sports, Belgrade softball is arguably like at the top of my list when I think of, their leader and they're a prime example of just good athletics, and not to mention the girls are so nice and a pleasure to be around, and as well as the coaching staff. So haven't talked to them yet, but we'll have plenty to talk about in the coming weeks.
Oh yeah, no question about that. What are you working on in the next week or so here?
Well, there is the American Indian Council is having a powwow basketball tournament and a whole kind of event this weekend where we will be covering that. I want to also say, I'm not sure if Cola Bad Bear will be there, but I do think that I think she will be. Saturday night, they're honoring Montana State Native American athletes. And the Bad Bear family will be a part of the event at one point. But that is kind of the on the docket this week. Other than that, spring ball, another topic we didn't discuss. Troy Anderson. I mean, obviously we have Callahan O'Reilly and some of those. It's going to be a good group, of course, but Troy Anderson not in the mix this year. Who's going to kind of step up and and fill that role. Speaking of which, April 4th, Montana State's Pro Day, so he'll be back for that.
Okay.
And we'll be covering that as well. So it just more exciting stuff. We're just rolling right into the next thing.
Yeah, it never ends, and that's why we do what we do, because we love it, and it's fantastic. That powwow, have you ever been to one?
No.
Oh,
tell me.
You are going to absolutely. I mean, you thought the basketball, the traditions from Native Americans there. Wait till you see the dances, hear the songs, because these songs are handed down for generations, and their chants. It's just the pageantry is absolutely stunning. And if one has never been, you're in for an emotional roller coaster, because it can get emotional when you think about the history of Montana Native Americans, and that powwow is one of the best things. I mean, there's so many great things that are held on that campus, but that's one of the best for sure. You're going to have a lot of fun this weekend.
I'm so excited. And to your point, Jason, and just to add on to Montana State men's and women's basketball's experience heading to March Madness, first thing, started off the trip with the council, American Indian Council, doing a good luck song celebration at the crack of dawn, and it was it was emotional. Like you said, it was so beautiful, and they just said that this song has been passed down from one generation to the next, and it's really something that I think just doesn't get enough light shed on it, and I hope that we continue to shed more light on the beauty of the culture, because it just is. It's really something that it's just so unique. It's so loyal, like you said. It's so beautiful. So I'm excited. We'll talk about it next week.
I can't wait. Speaking of, real quick, Tara Vanderveer's comments to Cola in that moment that went everywhere, viral. I thought that was pretty cool too with Cola Bad Bear.
Yeah, Tara, she's a legend. She, first of all, but and you know what, that just speaks, not one thing is perfect. Nothing is perfect. And obviously Pac-12 conference, just like every other conference, has its own imperfections. But one thing that I love about the Pac-12 conference, and I think Stanford does a tremendous, I think is like at the top of the chain leaderboard of recognizing certain things like that, and recognizing athletes like Cola Bad Bear, who is making a really important impact in not only Montana State athletics, but in women's basketball and in athletics in general. I think that was really, really cool for that moment to be captured. And I also think it just speaks to Tara, as well as, my former conference, the Pac-12 conference. I think that they do a good job of recognizing those things.
Hold your hand up again, your left hand. Oh, it's on the middle finger. Okay. I was going to say, is there some news we have to learn here? But you got to.
No, Jason. No. Far from that, Jason. Far from that.
I'm just saying, I saw a little flash of glimmer there, and okay.
Nope.
Okay, just making sure. Or checking, not making sure, just checking. You're like a little sister, so we got to know these things.
I would tell you. Yeah.
Hey, enjoy the week and the weekend. Have fun up there, and thanks for joining us. I'm glad you were able to hop on.
Yes, I'm so sorry about the technical difficulties. Thank you for having me, and we'll talk next week.
Sounds good. That is Alex Eschelman. Take care.
Right.
She joins us courtesy of Dinner's Done Right. That's what she said. A great sponsor of the show from day one since we came out on our own. But she does a great job covering high school and college sports down there in the Gallatin Valley. And she's a one-man band, and she does it better than anybody. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back, and we'll talk Capital Tennis when we return. This segment brought to you by Rutgers Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Rutgers Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Store-wide savings is what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rutgers Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rutgers, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $289. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rutgers Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com.
New vehicles keep coming, and Capital Collision Center keeps earning certifications to repair them. They're Helena's newest GM-certified facility. No matter the make or year, they repair your car to manufacturer's standards and requirements, maintaining its safety and value. Montana state law says it's your vehicle and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center, certified in GM, Subaru, and Nissan, and Helena's only shop certified in Honda, Acura, and Ford. When you value safety, go to Capital Collision Center on Euclid.
Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show.
Strength, beauty, grit, superior craftsmanship. Our homes have it all. At Montana Custom Log Homes, if you can dream it, we can build it. With 3 divisions and over 50 years experience, we've got you covered. From a showcase home to a small cabin, we make your vision a reality. Because every cowboy wants a castle for his queen. Montana Custom Log Homes, crafting homes that last for generations.
Welcome back, Jason Walker Show. Final segment on a Wednesday. On this day in history coming up, the walk-off. Tomorrow on the show, we're going to talk Jim Kelly. Played back for the Bobcats when they made the transition from Romney to the Brook Green Fieldhouse, and he's got some great stories to tell us, including guarding Elgin Baylor, the great Elgin Baylor. So that's coming up tomorrow. Monday, Ryan Schulte will join us, Helena High softball coach. Nicole Reeve as well next week. We already talked Helena High tennis this week, and it is now time to head across the town to the rivals, the Capital Bruins. Joining us now to talk about the Bruin tennis team is the head coach, Ryan Swenson, on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. All right, Coach, how have you been? It's been a while since I've seen you.
Yeah, it has been.
Things are going well, though, for you?
Yeah, they are. We've got a week and a half of practice down. We've got tryouts more or less situated and excited to get rolling with the season.
Yeah, I bet you are. And the weather's going to be nice, at least for, it looks like, for the first week, which is always a blessing, right?
Yes, we'd much rather have this situation than be shoveling tennis courts for the first 2 weeks.
There you go. Capital High tennis coach Ryan Swenson, our guest here, Jason Walker Show. Tell me about the work that was put in the off season.
We started open gyms in November. We hit throughout the season once a week, or throughout the summer once a week. Took a break when school got started, and we picked back up in November. We have open gym out at the tennis center. We rent that facility and are able to hit for an hour and a half. Monday nights, we can't get into the tennis center until 9 o'clock p.m., so they're pretty late Monday nights. But we had the best turnout I've ever had in my 12 years of coaching at open gyms this season. So we saw a lot of kids putting in a lot of time throughout the winter hitting some balls.
How much workouts, aside from actually playing, but like lifting and things like that, how much do you stress that with your tennis team?
I encourage them to be doing whatever they feel like they need to be staying in shape throughout the offseason. We don't do a lot of fitness workouts throughout the offseason. That's definitely something I'd like to do in the future. we do have a lot of players who are dual sport athletes. And so at open gym, we just want to be glad that they're there at all to hit balls, and we kind of let them work on their fitness in their other sports that are currently in season. So I try not to discourage them from coming by adding to their workload more than just the standard tennis fitness that happens throughout play.
I don't think weightlifting is a big part of tennis that people know about, but how important is it?
It can be very important. And it's not so much arm strength. I hear a lot of people talking about, oh, you play tennis, you're good, you must be really, your bench must be strong, your curls must be strong, and that's not necessarily the case. Tennis is a lot of core strength, abdominal strength, and leg strength. Actually, a lot of the power into shots comes from the legs. And so if students are keeping up with their core strength and just kind of their whole body fitness, that actually can go a lot further than specific weightlifting to work on specific muscle groups even.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, especially on the core. I mean, core is important for everything, though, I feel.
Absolutely.
Ryan Swenson, our guest here, Mike Miller, State Farm Hotline. How many kids returned from last year's squad?
On the varsity team, we had 6 returning varsity players. On the boys team, we had 12 of 13 returning. We only had 1 senior graduate. 1 or 2 of those boys elected not to play this season. So we had about 10 boys and 6 girls returning for varsity. And then last year we only had 1 boy on JV. Girl JV players, I think we probably have 20-ish returning. So pretty good return rate so far this year.
How many came out total?
We are at 67, I believe, total for the program this year.
That's some good numbers. You compare that over at Helena High. I mean, combine that, you got over 120 kids playing tennis in the Helena area in high school, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it is good. It's nice to see. There were a couple years there where both programs were fairly small in the last 5 years or so, and so it's nice to see us starting to get back to some higher numbers. I mean, 60 is a lot. It's tough when we only have 4 courts to get, half those kids some decent playing time, but we work with what we can to get as many large group drills going so players aren't standing around any more than they have to be and they can be hitting balls. But I definitely would rather be struggling with too many players than the opposite, that's for sure.
Who on the boys' side are we looking out for this season?
We have Ryan Ashley placed 4th at state last year. He'll be back playing singles this year. Ashton Shipley placed 5th in doubles at state. His doubles partner was the 1 senior who graduated, but he will also be back playing singles this year. Ashton will. And then we've got a couple of strong doubles teams and a couple of singles players we're hoping to see kind of really make some big strides this year that put in some good work throughout the winter.
Who might surprise us on that boys' side?
On the boys' side, I think Brady Arnold and Dylan Dobbins are likely to be a doubles team that makes some noise. On the singles side, Carter Fair came to every single open gym throughout the winter and has probably doubled in his ability since last spring. So we're excited to see what he can do with things. He's going to be playing singles to start the season.
Tell me about the girls.
On the girls' side, we have Abby Wiles and Miranda Schaefer returning as a doubles team. They played number 1 throughout most of the season last year and made it to state and are hoping to repeat the process, repeat that scenario. Catherine Burbage will be playing singles. She's a senior. She made state as a freshman and then just barely missed it last year. And then obviously sophomore year was canceled. But so on the girls' side, we got kind of the same situation, a good handful that are looking to do some damage in the state tournament.
I asked your counterpart over at Helena High, Nicole Reeby, this, but how much time do you spend watching film with the kids?
We don't watch a lot of film of other schools like they might do in basketball or football. There isn't really any film sharing that goes on in tennis. I do have a few cameras, and we have students film each other during matches where we hang the camera from the fence and we film the match, and then I can upload it to Huddle and I can commentate their match. I try to do that at least once per season for everybody for sure. We film some different things at practice, and we can look at that in small groups or just through Huddle. Even I can send film clips out to them. So we do a lot of film critique on ourselves. We don't do a lot of watching. We don't do any watching opponents, I guess, other than opponents that maybe we happen to catch when filming a match. But from time to time, I'll encourage them to watch a specific professional match or some highlights from professional tournaments. One thing we do is every year we try to take a trip to either Missoula or Bozeman to watch the Cats or the Grizz play. And this year we're going to watch the Grizz, I should say, the Grizz teams, both the men and the women, play Idaho State University and Northern Arizona University next weekend. So that'll be pretty exciting for most of those kids who've never seen tennis played at a D1 level or even anything above high school get to see that up close.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit different, a little more intense. Ryan Swenson joining us, the Capitol High tennis coach, Jason Walker Show. Do you teach serve and volley, or do you teach baseline? I mean, or how do you choose or coach players on which is their game? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. It really kind of depends on the personality of the player and just their fitness level and their natural style of play. I'm not necessarily going to try and take somebody who is adamantly not a serve and volleyer. I'm not going to try to force them to be one. If there's somebody who is pretty mobile and tends to be moving around anyway, we might try to encourage that as a tool. But I wouldn't necessarily say that I try to create a serve and volleyer by any means. I want that to be a tool that most of our players have. But we do a lot of talking about reading your opponent in the first few games and trying to decide what's going to be most effective to cause them to play outside of their comfort zone. And if they seem to be used to playing a serve and volleyer, we're not going to serve and volley. If that seems to be something that's throwing them for a loop, we're going to try to do that as much as we can. So I would rather players have a lot of different tools rather than be kind of stuck in, I'm a serve and volleyer, or I'm a baseline player, or I'm an all-court player. I kind of want them to be able to have a little bit of everything, so that as they're reading their opponents, they're able to adjust how they're playing so that they force their opponent to play something different than what they're used to.
How's the Western A look on both sides?
It'll be interesting. We have that Western Conference tournament where we get to see everybody in mid-April, and that'll be good. That'll be kind of the first time we get to see any of them. Our division is Helena High and Gallatin and Bozeman, so really Helena High is the only team on the Western Conference that we see in divisionals. We played Bozeman and Belgrade a couple times, but Missoula Hellgate, obviously a strong program, especially on the boys' side lately. They've been doing pretty well. Glacier usually puts out some pretty tough teams. Last year, their girls were pretty new. I imagine a lot more of those girls will have a lot more experience now, and they'll be stronger. Their boys' team did pretty well last year. CMR and Bozeman tends to do very, very well. Gallatin had a double team win state their first year as a AA school. So it really just depends on who the kids are and where they're at. But any school has had, some very strong players over the years for sure.
How's the family?
The family's good.
Good. You got one or two now?
I've got two little girls. 3.5-year-old and an almost 1.5-year-old. So they keep me busy, that's for sure. Yeah, exactly.
Tennis rackets in the hands yet?
For the 3-year-old, yeah, she just comes to practice every now and then. She has a little racket she swings around in the backyard. She's definitely interested. She likes it, and she likes coming to practice with Dad and hanging out with the kids.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's getting all the attention. That's usually the best, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I almost had to take her to practice yesterday, and my wife was worried she'd be disruptive. And I thought, are you kidding me? We've got 18 babysitters here who would love it.
Exactly. Yeah, but are any of them good at changing diapers or any like that?
We're going to find out. That's tryouts this week.
Perfect. I like that. And if they're good at diapers, then they get to move on to varsity.
That's right. Yeah.
Perfect.
That's part of the plan.
There you go. Hey, Coach, looking forward to chatting each week about your team and the progress you guys are going to make throughout the season. Good luck this year.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Looking forward to touching base throughout the season as well.
That is Ryan Swenson, Capitol High tennis coach, joining us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotlines, where all of our guests appear via the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. It's not just a bundle. It's your home, it's your auto, and it's your life. And that is Mike Miller State Farm in Helena. On this day in history, it is March the 23rd. It is National Chia Day. It is Chip and Dip Day, Near Miss Day, Puppy Day, and National Tamale Day. I follow a bunch of Mets fans. I'm a huge New York Mets fan, have been since the early 80s. And a lot of our dogs are named Shea, after Shea Stadium. And my now almost 10-year-old mini Aussie is named Shea. So it is Puppy Day today. I don't have any pictures to show. Well, I do, but I didn't upload any. 1946, 8th men's basketball championship. Oklahoma State beats North Carolina, go back-to-back. 1957, at the 19th championship, North Carolina beats Kansas in 3 overtimes, 54-53. 1963, the 25th title, Loyola Chicago beat Cincinnati in overtime, 60-58. 1968, UCLA beats North Carolina, go back-to-back. Wayne Gretzky in 1994 set the NHL record with 802 goals scored. And one birthday today. Roger Bannister was born on this date, 1929, the great English athlete, the first sub 4-minute mile. Was born in Oxford in 1950, and that happened in 1954. He was born in Harrow, England, passed away 4 years ago. That is what happened on this date in history.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
The walk-off is presented by Cafe Zydeco, where the Big Easy meets the Big Sky. There is no better Cajun food this side of New Orleans than Cafe Zydeco. And speaking of New Orleans, talked to a friend of mine down there, the great New Orleans Saints reporter, Amy Just, and she was about 5 miles from the big tornado that tore through metro New Orleans last night. So she's okay, but hope everybody else is. But make sure you stop into Cafe Zydeco in Helena, Bozeman, also in Billings, and you're not going to find better Cajun literally anywhere. I don't know if we missed anything today. We had a pretty good day. Hope you enjoyed it. We had fun, and it's always a good time to talk sports, right? We have a good time. Thanks to Alex Eschelman for joining us. Ryan Swenson. Tomorrow, Jim Kelly is going to talk about the transition from moving from Romney Gym to Brick Breeden Fieldhouse in the mid-'50s when he played for the Bobcats. And who knows what else we're going to throw in. Get some Grizz talk, too, going. Got a pretty good tennis team over there in Grizzlyville. We'll do it again tomorrow. Jason Walker's Show. We are presented by Capital Collision Center. Montana State Law says it's your vehicle. It is your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center. Have yourself a wonderful Wednesday. See you back here tomorrow, 4 o'clock, for the Jason Walker Show. Have a good night.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show